What's happening, guys? It's Nagpal for iGyaan, and today we are going to be reviewing the new Samsung Galaxy Mega 5.8. Now, essentially a bigger brother for the Galaxy Grand, which was a fairly big phone for Samsung, and it sold really well. The Galaxy Mega is a 5.8-inch device which has a 540 by 960 pixel display, and it is an LCD display versus an AMOLED that Samsung usually uses. You have 190 pixel per inch pixel density on the front screen. You also have a front-facing 1.9 megapixel camera, the standard set of capacitive buttons on the bottom, along with the main hardware button on the bottom as well. On the back, you have a 8 megapixel camera, which is highly improved over the Galaxy Grand. And you also have a larger 2600 milliamp hour battery, which does a fairly nice job of battery capacity. So let's talk about things that Samsung has given on this device and whether or not it is a worthwhile purchase. So let's start off with price. Now, this phone comes with a price tag of 24,900 rupees, and you can buy it in the market from almost anywhere for that price. It does feature a Broadcom 1.4 gigahertz dual core chipset, and it also has the video core for a GPU, which is a fairly nice GPU. In fact, for gaming, it's pretty good. If you take a look at the device, it looks like a bigger version of the Galaxy S4. Now, the Galaxy Mega 5.8 essentially follows on the standard tradition of Samsung devices. You can see the whole layout of the device. It's identical to all the devices that you've seen in the past, of the Galaxy Grand, the Galaxy Grand Quattro, S4, S3, almost all have the identical shape that you see on this device. So with an instant, you could say that this is an old design, and from another perspective, you can say that it almost instantly relates to a Samsung phone. So maybe Samsung doesn't want to change the design, because the minute you look at the device from a distance, you know that it's a Samsung phone. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people like knowing that they have a good brand and like showing that off. So maybe Samsung is using that to their advantage versus changing the design ever so often as they did earlier. I don't know what their reason is, but this does have the same old design that we're used to. So you have a completely plastic build overall. You can see you have a plastic back panel, you have a plastic bezel, and an overall plastic design. You of course have a full glass front. The front bezel is also glass, but overall everything else, the frame and the chassis, the back panel, everything is plastic. So for build quality, I'm not too impressed, because it's the same plastic that we are used to. Now, this is a fairly long-lasting design, so plastic doesn't break very easily. It scratches, it dents, but it doesn't break very easily. So plastic does have that benefit. But the glass is not reinforced, so that may be a slight bit of an issue. So you don't have any protection on the glass. You don't have a Gorilla Glass like many of the other devices. So the scratch, it is a sort of a shatterproof design that Samsung makes on their own, but it's no special company made glass. So it's not a Dragon Trail glass or a Gorilla Glass that prevents devices from breaking easily. If you talk about the interface now, this is what the lock screen looks like, and it is quite identical to the S4. So you have this sort of light effect, and you can simply scroll out. In the S3, they used water effects. In the S4, they used light effects, and it has fallen down to all the devices that follow up in the process. So you can see you have light effects over here. You have the new version of TouchWiz, so you can get home screens, 7 home screens over here. You can select which home screen you want as your home. If you pull down from the top, you can see the notifications over here. You can simply swipe your notifications out of the display. You also have this scroller, which you can select to access your toggles. Since it is Android 4.2, you do have a separate access to all the toggles. If you just want to pull down all the toggles, if you do it with 2 fingers, you get into that screen. If I jump into settings, I'll be able to show you that it is running Android 4.2. You can see it's running Android 4.2.2. And I just got a software update today. It's small, fairly small, 6 MB update, which said that it added some stability. You can see Samsung has split the settings panel into several options of their own, and they do give a lot of TouchWiz features into the Galaxy Mega 5.8. So you can see you have one-handed operation. It puts the keyboard or the dial pad on the side. It doesn't do it for the keyboard, but it does it for the dial pad and the calculator. And you can also use it for the unlock pattern. So the unlock pattern also shows on one side. If you want to go into language and input, again, you have all these options. You can choose to put the keyboard as per your requirements. So if you go into advanced settings over here, you have all these settings. You can also enable handwriting. You can also enable continuous input. You can also enable cursor control. All these features can be added into the keyboard. You also have motions and gestures for Samsung. So you do have several other motion features. So direct call, if you're in an SMS and you just lift your phone, it'll give you that, it'll dial to that SMS number. Also with smart alert, if you're just picking up the phone, you get a vibration alert to notify you if you have missed calls or messages, etc. You can also tilt to zoom, which is pretty standard. It's been there since the Galaxy S2. You want to move an icon, again, same. It's been there for a very long time. You want to browse an image, you can do that via this as well. You also have mute and pause, which you can flip the device if your phone is ringing to turn it off. So you have all those things. You also have palm motion, so you can, if you want to take a screenshot, you can simply just swipe your hand across and it'll take a screenshot as it did over there you saw. You can also use it to mute and pause. So if your phone is ringing, you can just put your hand above the camera over there to sort of mute the device. Now you do have a standard size Samsung dialer. You can see that it puts it on the side. So for one-handed operation, if you're using your left hand, you can quickly tap and get it to the left side. If you're using a right hand, you can quickly tap and get it to the right side. You can turn it off. So if I go into my device customizations, one-handed operation, and if I turn it off and I come back into the dialer, you can see you have a nice and large dialer. You can also initiate video calls, standard phone calls. You can also check your call logs from here, favorites and contacts, etc. from this screen. The disadvantage is while messaging. So if you're composing a message, you get a big keyboard over here and you cannot use your one hand. If you're holding the device with one hand, you will not be able to use it to just type in. It's slightly difficult. You can use it if you have big fingers like mine. It is slightly more difficult. You can also turn the screen into landscape, get a larger keyboard. So if you want to do landscape typing, you can do that thanks to the Galaxy Grand as well. Now, browsing on this is really fun because you have a really nice screen size. It loads up the website really nicely and you get all sorts of content laid out on this. Now, despite the fact that it is a large screen with not such a high resolution, it still shows out all the details properly and it's pretty crisp. The text and the colors are really vivid and they pop out at you. Viewing angles are fantastic. So for internet consumption, internet media consumption, internet content consumption, we feel that this is a fantastic device. You can really zoom in into your subjects. You get a lot of detail on the screen. The fact that you get so much detail on the screen in the beginning makes it really an interesting display to use. Also, if you turn to landscape over here, you'll be able to see that you get a lot more information. So the fact that you have such a large screen enables you to do a lot more with this device. Now the camera app is really good and you should check out our camera review to get more details on that. We have lots of camera modes that have been carried forward from the Galaxy camera. Continuous shot, best shot, sound and shot, sports, your automatic mode, beauty face, best photo. All these things have been carried forward from, actually the design of the camera has been carried forward from the Galaxy camera, but the apps or the functions or the modes have been carried forward from the S4, because in the Galaxy camera you do have a full manual mode, you have a programmed auto mode. You don't have those modes here. You have just basic modes which are essentially auto modes, but you can customize them a little bit. You can set a timer if you want to. You can also change the white balance, the exposure value compensation, and your shading options from the camera app. And you can also go into detail settings from here and choose the size of the photo, choose the size of the video, and additional settings including GPS tags, use the volume key to zoom or to click a picture, guidelines, contextual file names, and all those things can be set up from the setup menu. It's fairly good. You also get some filters for the auto mode. You don't get those in the other modes, but you do get some filters, so you can add a filter to your image before you compose it, and it'll give you a preview of that before you actually click that image. Now, the front-facing camera captures video at 720p, whereas the main camera captures video at 1080p. The good thing about the Galaxy Mega is that you can convert to landscape in the main screen as well. So if you're navigating through the main screen, it gives you a tablet UI, so you can scroll left or right directly in the main screen, which is actually a pretty good feature. A lot of users will be happy with that. Now you do get your standard suite of Samsung applications. So you do get Story Album over here, as you can see. Plus, apart from that, you get some interesting applications like Samsung Chat On. If it's a really popular chat messenger, you get Paper Artist, which will convert your images into some fancy paper sketches if you would like to do that. You can also use the S-Memo app, really popular since the Galaxy Note came out. So you have all those apps. You also have S Translator. Play Books and Play Movies is also there. But these are more Google apps. But you can see that a standard suite of applications is installed. Multi-window is not available on the Galaxy Mega 5.8. It is available on the Galaxy Mega 6.3. We believe that Samsung said that it is a restriction with the chipset. If you double tap on the home button, you get S Voice. What is the meaning of life? And it is slightly more improved versus the previous version.
42. According to Douglas Adams' humorous science fiction novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
So you get interesting answers, and it does a better job at recognizing what you're saying. The detection of your vocabulary has been improved, and which is a really fantastic thing because iOS has not been able to do it as well as S Voice has. But S Voice is more or less ignored. You also have Google now. So if you hold down on, I think if you scroll up from the center over here. Yeah, so if you hold down on the menu button, you get into Google now, and you can use that, which is slightly better. What is the meaning of life? And it is more responsive. It gives you better results. Somehow it doesn't answer what the meaning of life is, but it'll give you better results in terms of, say, how much is $1 in Indian rupees? So it gives you the exact price. You can see it is fantastically expensive nowadays. Anyway, coming back into the main screen. So you can see you have Google now, you have S Voice, you have all those features. You also have the Samsung Task Manager over here. So if you hold down on the home button, you get the Task Manager, which is a standard Google Task Manager or an Android Task Manager. But if you press this button on the bottom left, you get Samsung Management. You can go into active applications and all running applications, for example. You can also look at your downloaded apps. You can look at your RAM. Out of the 1.5 gigabyte that Samsung claims, you actually only get about 1.06 gigabyte to exploit, and out of the 8 gigabyte storage that Samsung claims, you only get about 5.34 gigabyte to exploit. We've done detailed hardware and benchmark videos, so you can check out our hardware and benchmark video. Also, in our gaming video, you can check out how this phone performs in gaming, which is pretty good actually for the kind of graphics and the screen size that we have. So do check out our gaming video. So in conclusion, it's not about what this device can do or whether or not it gives you some fancy features. It's about whether or not this solves your purpose. It does have a larger screen, which is slightly better than the Galaxy Grand. It does have a better camera and a better camera app. It also does have a larger battery and improved battery life. So it went on for more than a day without any problem. We got about 6 hours of talk time, 5 to 6 hours easily. No network issues. You do have dual SIM. They're not dual SIM active, but you do have one SIM card which can run internet while the other receives phone calls, which is normal for Samsung devices. It can do that. And either of the SIM cards can be 3G. It doesn't matter. So in terms of phone handling and phone capability, the phone is fantastic, as is any other device nowadays. So phone calls have not been a major issue. Network was not a problem at all. So battery life, phone performance, everything seems to be good. But whether or not this device is portable is something that you have to see. It is not the most convenient size for your pocket, unless you wear loose jeans. If you wear tight jeans or if you wear formal pants, this might not be the best option for you. In conclusion, if you are looking for something that replaces a tablet and a phone, this size or the 6.3 may actually solve all your problems. But in terms of performance, this phone is great. It's not one of the best performers out there in the world, but it does have a lot of features. The fact that it misses something like multi-window is really annoying, and it should have not been the case. You can get the Galaxy S3 for about 27,000 rupees nowadays. So for a price difference about 3,000 rupees, you do get a quad-core chipset, you do get better features, and you do get multi-window, etc. So it is a give and take, and the Galaxy S3 is also thinner, more portable, and has a better performance ROM and better hardware altogether. So the Galaxy S3 could be a better option for those looking for a better device than the Galaxy Mega 5.8. But if this solves your purpose, it's actually pretty good a device. But again, coming back to the point where it's only slightly different from the Galaxy Grand, but it's about 5,000 rupees more than the Galaxy Grand. So you can make the decision. You can read the full review and our rating on iGyaan.in. You can check out the link for that. If you have any further questions, you can leave those on our iGyaan review page in the comment section. We'll try and answer those there. And make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyaan, youtube.com/iGyaanTV, and catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. This has been Bharat Nagpal for iGyaan Networks. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.